Hello, friends. Whenever we are conducting any research, people often ask you a question whether your research is a qualitative research or a quantitative research. We have to think which kind of research we are doing. Whenever we conduct research, we decide some objectives, and based on those objectives, we decide our method of research. Today's presentation, we will discuss the quantitative research and qualitative research. We'll try to explore the difference between the two. Let us first talk about the focus of your study. When you're conducting a qualitative research and quantitative research, your focus is totally different. Quantitative research focus on testing a theory or hypothesis which is already established. Whereas the focus of qualitative research is exploring new ideas, formulating a new theory or a hypothesis. So, a theory is already tested, is already established, and through your research, you're going to find out whether that theory is still applicable or not in quantitative research. You are going to confirm or test a theory which is already established. But in qualitative research, you're going to understand new concept, new thoughts and experiences. Next is the methods that you're using for your research. As you know well, there are different methods of research. Some researches are experimental in nature, some are survey studies, some are case studies. Quantitative research and qualitative research make use of different methods. In quantitative research, you mostly make use of surveys, experiments, maybe single group or two equivalent group, or observations. In qualitative research, we mainly focus on interviews, ethnography, grounded theory, or phenomenology. These are different types of qualitative research. Then, coming to the respondents. Respondents are the ones who are giving you the data, right? So, in quantitative research, you need to have many respondents. Since quantitative research is dealing with the numbers, you have to have bigger sample so that whatever data you collect, whatever analysis you do, and the interpretations that come up should be applicable to the entire population. So, bigger the sample size, more reliable data it is. Therefore, for quantitative studies, we need more respondents. Whereas in qualitative research, you require few respondents. In fact, when you conduct qualitative research, you do not have too many respondents. Here, the sample size in itself is very, very small. Suppose you are conducting a research on learning problems of dyslexic students. Now, when you're talking about dyslexic students in the population, there are very few students who are dyslexic in nature, and therefore the number of dyslexic students is less, and respondents are going to be few. So, few students, few parents are going to survey, and you're going to do qualitative research there, right? So, quantitative research requires more respondents, whereas qualitative research requires less respondents. Next question, you are going to ask some questions to those respondents. When you conduct those researches, which are quantitative in nature, the questions are mostly closed. Maybe they are multiple choice questions, true false questions, right? The answers are definite. But in qualitative research, you ask more open ended questions because you want to generate data from the respondents. You want to get ideas, concepts, thoughts of the respondents. Therefore, the questions that are asked to the respondents are more open ended. Then, analysis. Now, since the number of respondents is more, and the data that you collect is mostly mathematical. In quantitative research, maths and stats is used. Mean, mode, median, regression, coefficient of correlation, all those statistical tools, t-test, z-test, chi-square, these will be involved when you talk about quantitative research. Quantitative research quantifies the data. Whatever data you get, you're going to put them in numbers and analyze them. Whereas in qualitative research, you're going to get open-ended answers through your interviews, through your observations. You're going to get words, you're going to get sentences, you're going to get concepts. Therefore, here you use coding, categorizing, summarizing, and interpreting. So the way of analysis of quantitative and qualitative research is totally different. Next is, how do you express your findings? How do you put across your findings? Now, since quantitative research talks about numbers, you can express them in terms of numbers, graphs, and tables. Whereas qualitative data is expressed in words and generalizations. Last is the keywords. When you talk about research which is quantitative in nature, the words that you often come across are testing, measurement, objectivity. The word here is objectivity. Whereas in qualitative research, you talk about understanding, context, complexity, and subjectivity. Since the data that you observe and analyze is numerical in nature, anyone doing analysis should get the same answer, and therefore there is a lot of objectivity in quantitative analysis. Whereas in qualitative analysis, it is the way the researcher looks at the problem, it is the way the researcher analyzes the data, his findings, and therefore it is a lot depending on the researcher, and therefore it is subjective in nature. Thus, we have understood the difference between quantitative research and qualitative research. Now it is up to the researcher. He has to be very wise to select which type of research you are going to undertake. And that will depend upon your objectives. What objectives you have kept for your research, accordingly, you will decide whether your research is qualitative research, quantitative research, or maybe a mixed research. In next session, we will talk about mixed type of research. Thank you.